Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Mind your business Monday, motivational Monday, all of that great stuff. This is your girl, Troy Ravenel, life and marriage transformation scientist. How is everybody doing? Hey, sis, how are you doing? So listen, guys, I just wanted to come on and just share with you just a little bit and just talk. I really want this to be a dialogue, although I'm here and you're there, but I want the conversation to continue to flow. And I'm really in this vein because what I decided to do this year more than ever is really focus on loving myself and really focus on my self-care. And that's vital because I know as women, a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner. You know, how many of us have done that? More times than we like to admit. You know, we get married, we have children, we have all of these other obligations, our job. You know, everybody's pulling from us, you know, pulling for our time, pulling for our energy, pulling for our wisdom, pulling for our knowledge. Everybody is pulling. And a lot of times what happens is people are pulling from us and we forget to get poured back into. We forget what it looks like or what it means to love ourselves, right? That happens a lot of time. Hey sis, how you doing? Self in 2019. Yes, 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 D, because we do too much. And when we're in a space where we're giving so much and we're doing so much, we're really depleting ourselves. And if we want to be honest, we really have people around us, even family members sometimes, people that say that they're our friends, they're pulling from us. And what pulling from us do, it depletes our joy, it depletes our happiness, it depletes our peace, right? It depletes our energy. It takes away from you. So what I want to summon to you today, if you are in a space right now and you have people taking from you, if you're in a space right now and you're constantly trying to please people, you find yourself being a people pleaser, you want to make everybody else happy, and you are neglecting your own happiness. I want to tell you about something that we're launching in just a few days here. It's called the Loving Me More Challenge. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But basically, it's a 7-day challenge that my sister Jill and I are hosting with a few dozen experts and world leaders and relationship coaches that are going to come on and share with you how to love yourself more. Because if I can be honest with you, we've been doing a poor job. And we really have the wrong concept when it comes to loving ourselves. We think loving ourselves mean let's get our hair done, right? Loving myself means let me buy a nice outfit. Loving myself means let me get my makeup done. Although that's a part of taking care of your external person, but I'm talking about your internal person. What are the things that you need to do inwardly? Because if I can be honest with you, somebody that loves themselves will not allow other people to take advantage of them. Somebody that loves themselves will not fall victim to being a people pleaser. Somebody that loves themselves will take time out of their life to heal, right? They won't try to be on the forefront or be on a platform when they know that they have things in their life that they still need to get worked out. I'm not saying that God didn't call you. I'm not saying that you're not purposed, that you're not destined. But somebody that takes care of themselves, they understand the necessity of how they need to show up every single day. And they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they're showing up in that way. When you know how to love yourself more, then you can love your husband in that same way, right? But when we're absent of love, and the love I'm speaking of is the God kind of love. If we're absent of those things, how then can we give that to anybody else when we don't even understand that ourselves? When we're dealing with insecurities, when we're dealing with mindset shifts, and we're constantly thinking about things that are negative, things that are bad, everything that's wrong in our life, that's not taking care of yourself. When your emotions are all over the place and you find yourself more than not emotionally hijacked by way of your response, be it to your spouse or be it to other people, then that means you're not loving yourself because you're not in control of your emotions. So I want to share with you about 7 pillars that I have of what it looks like to love yourself. And if you see yourself in any of this, don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to raise your hand, because of what I can tell you, at some point in my life, I was in all of these categories, right? So there's nothing to be ashamed of. But I want to share with you because I want to walk you on a journey of helping you to love yourself more and really giving you that definition of what that looks like. Because it's not what we thought it was in the past. It's nothing of what we thought it was, right? So we want to redefine what loving me looks like. And as a matter of fact, while we're on here, since I wanted to be an engaging conversation, you tell me in your own words, what does loving yourself more look like? I'll give you a few minutes to share. What does that look like in your words? Give you just 60 seconds. Just tell me your word, one word, a sentence. What does that look like? Hey, Gigi. Hey, Tanita. Hey, Pastor Everett. When I say loving yourself, what does that look like? What comes to mind? And what have you been doing this year or have done in the past to incorporate that? Because, a lot of times we think, even in ministry, we feel like because we're working in ministry and we're building the kingdom of God, which we are supposed to do, we define that as loving ourselves. And a lot of times we define that as loving God. But many times we're busy being busy, but we're not giving ourselves the proper nourishment, the proper care, the proper attention, the proper time that we need, because we're giving it to everybody else. And for my single woman out there, loving yourself is not allowing a man to take advantage of your body, of your mind, or your emotions. Loving yourself is being content and satisfied in your singleness until that man come, if he ever, right? Loving yourself is getting in touch with your inner self, your inner being in oneness with yourself, being in alignment with you, being okay with you, learning to be kind to you. If I were to ask you this question, if you treated your best friends or your friends the way you treat yourself, would they still be your friend? If you treated your friends the way you treat yourself now, would they still be your friends? That's good. Prioritizing my needs, my dreams, desires, treating my body like a temple. God's love. Absolutely. Can you define that a little bit more for me, Tanita? God's love in what regard? So in this current moment, if you treated your friends, let's say you're always busy, you have so many priorities. You're not getting the proper sleep. You're not eating healthy. You're not exercising, being mobile. You're not taking time out to do mindfulness and meditation. So if you treated your friends like that, because let's say that's your current life, would they still be your friends? Because that's how you're treating yourself. Because when we talk about loving yourself, it's so much more than, oh, I love me, I'm confident, I'm beautiful. That's good. That's good. But I know a lot of beautiful people on the outside that are struggling on the inside. I know a lot of people that have nice houses and nice cars, but they're struggling on the inside. I know a lot of people that have, they're leaders and they're business owners, entrepreneurs, and they have good bank accounts, but they're struggling on the inside. So would you rather have all of those things and struggle on the inside, or be whole on the inside and then able to produce and keep those things? What would you prefer? What would you prefer? So 7 pillars I want to share with you what it means to love yourself more. And again, we're hosting a 7-day Loving Me More challenge. And the best thing about this is it's absolutely free. It's no charge to you, absolutely zero. And we have some of the leading industry experts that is partnering with us on this journey because they thought it was important enough to be able to share with you what it looks like to love yourself. And we're going to come from different aspects of loving ourselves. From our mindset, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about our emotions. We're going to talk about our physical space, right? How to declutter that. We're going to talk about our God space, our energy as it relates to that, our faith. We're also going to be talking about our money. Because when you love yourself, you know how to manage your money well. You didn't know that was a part of that. Yeah, you know how to manage your money well. And hey, if you're looking at the replay, make sure you go ahead and hashtag replay for me, unapologetically me, renting myself the way crazy. Yes, that's good. That's good, Tanita. So matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the link real quick for anybody that's on. If you want to sign up, go ahead and register for it. It is absolutely free, no cost to you. 7 days starting Friday, April 12th. We're going to be doing the Loving Me More challenge. It's a 7-day online challenge that's going to be happening right here in the group. And we want you all to join us on that challenge because we are adamant this year of helping thousands of women learn how to love themselves more, for real, for real. For real, for real. So I did go ahead and post a link. So I want to share with you 7 pillars, and we're going to walk through these pillars. And I'm glad you said something about God, loving yourself the way God loves you, Tanita. And that's absolutely right. You know, a lot of times we don't even understand God's love. So we can't love ourselves the way God loves us because we don't understand his love. And I'm not speaking to you in particular, but I'm just speaking in general. We have an idea of how his love looks like. We've read in the Bible, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, right? We read how he favored different people in the Bible and how he gave, you know, the barren woman children, and he allowed the Red Sea to be parted, and all of these things which demonstrated his love, and he protected us and he cared for us. But when we don't have that understanding and know the depths of God in that retrospect, we can't love ourselves in that way, because a lot of times we are too busy holding on to self-pity. We're too busy holding on to shame. We're too busy holding on to embarrassment. We're too busy comparing ourselves with other people and even our old self. We're too busy competing. Yay, Tanita. We're too busy competing with the world. And I want to talk about that just a little bit, because a lot of times we're looking at what the world is doing. And even if we're in the same space with other people, other coaches, other speakers, other authors, other business owners, other event hosts, or whatever, a lot of times when we're not at the place that we want to be at, or we feel that we deserve to be at, we're looking at other people and we're allowing jealousy, and we're allowing insecurities, and we're allowing toxic thoughts and behaviors to happen as a result of our jealousy. Come on, somebody. We're allowing those things to happen. And what I can tell you, if those things are resting on us, you know, it's normal to feel a sense of a sense of jealousy, or to feel a certain way. Feelings and emotions are normal. What is not normal is when you stay in that place. And what is not normal if you continue going to that place. That's not normal. It's not normal every time somebody gets a win, you get upset, you get mad, you get jealous, you don't want to support. That's not normal. And when we have those things going on in our life, we have to look on the inside. Faith versus fear. We have to look on the inside. And that's all a part of loving you, because if you're loving you, you're content with who you are, you're content with where you are, and you're not hoping to be where anybody else is. Yeah, you may have people that you admire and people that you like and things of that nature, but you don't desire to be like that person, and you don't feel fuzzy or jealous or envy because that person may be doing things more than you. They may be doing things better than you. They may be doing things on a different scale than you, and all of that is okay. But if you're feeling jealousy or insecure because of it, then we have to look at our love within inside, and we have to see where our love power and our self-love is in that regard. So we are too busy being busy trying to line with the wrong things and the wrong people. Yeah, we're trying to mirror the Joneses, but I saw them at Walmart and their car declined. We can't be like everybody else. And you know, a lot of times if you need to distract yourself from Facebook or other things that are constantly pulling you in and making you feel like this is the standard of life, this is how you should be living, this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be acquiring, maybe you need to disconnect yourself from this social world that we are all so caught up in, and thinking we have to be like everybody and do like everybody or else we're irrelevant. That's a lie. Because when you know who you are in God, and you are assured in that place, and you are confident in that place, that's when you can produce self-love, and you're not worried about everybody else. So let's talk about 7 pillars really quickly. 7 pillars. Number 1, emotional intelligence. So when you are displaying self-love, you're in control of and able to express and manage your emotions without negatively impacting others. So basically, you're not bleeding over others. Even if you're feeling sad, even if you're feeling mad, even if you're dealing with rejection, abandonment, or if you have some level of insecurities, because we all have levels of insecurities. It's just a matter of how we manage those things. So if you're unable to manage those things, if you're unable to handle your interpersonal relationships, then we have to work on our self-love, right? You have to work on your self-love. And being emotionally intelligent is being emotionally aware of what's going on in you and what's going on around you. If somebody can type that, please do. Being emotionally intelligent is being aware of what's going on in you and being aware of what's going on around you and being able to manage those emotions accordingly, right? So that means that you're not getting upset and flying off the handle when things don't go your way. When your husband doesn't show up and be present the way that you need him to be, when your child does something or even disrespects you, when somebody else disrespects you or be rude to you or betray you, you're in control of your emotions. So if you're on this video right now, you're watching the replay, we're talking about the Loving Me More Challenge that's kicking off April 12th, Friday, April 12th at 8 p.m. right here in this group. And we want you all to register for the Loving Me More Challenge. Is lovingmeMoreChallenge.com. It's a free challenge, and we've gathered world leaders, experts, and relationship coaches from all around the world to connect with Jill and I to be able to bring this to you, because we know how important it is for you to learn to love yourself. We see businesses falling apart because people can't love themselves. We see marriages falling apart because people don't know how to love themselves. And why I say that is because if you're so full of insecurities and you're wanting your spouse to make you whole, to complete you, to bring something to you that you're missing, to fill your gap and to fill your voids, you know, that is not possible for that person to do that. It's not possible for another human being to do that. It's only possible when you learn to love yourself and understand God's love towards you and know that God is the only person that can do that for you. We see so many things happening as a result of the lack of self-love, and we know that it is time for you to learn how to love yourself. Number two, somebody put number two, mental wellness. When you practice renewing your mind every single day, the Bible tells us in Romans that we are to renew our minds every single day. And in fact, when we renew our mind, we transform our life. So what does that look like? Our mental wellness looks like we're mindful. We're mindful of our thoughts. When we do have thoughts that come into our mind that are contrary to the word of God, we know how to mitigate those thoughts. We extract those thoughts. We resist those thoughts. We replace those thoughts. Somebody that is mentally well, they're careful in not allowing toxic thoughts to sit and dwell on their mind. Again, we're all human. So things are going to come. Thoughts are going to come. You know, things happen, right? In life, things happen in your past. So things may come across your mind. However, you have the power to not sit there and not dwell there. Not sit there and dwell there and go in depression. Not sit there and dwell there and go in anxiety. Not sit and dwell there and go into some other state where you may become suicidal, or have suicide ideation or anything of that nature. Somebody that's mentally well, practice mindfulness, meditating on the word of God day and night, and doing according to all that is written therein, right? Someone that is mentally well know how to cope with normal stresses of life, of work, and they work productivity and fruitfully, right? So that's somebody that is mentally well. So if you're finding yourself, you know, you're above your head most days, right? You work stress, life stress, relationship stress, marriage stress, things are constantly affecting you to the point that you can't function, to the point you feel yourself breaking down, or you want to break down, or you have broken down, to the point you're not functional. That's not loving yourself. And we have to do better in that area. Number three, somebody put number three, self-care. Self-care. Name one thing you've done the last 30 days to practice self-care. I'll wait. One thing you've done the last 30 days to practice self-care. One thing you've done within the last 30 days to practice self-care. Because what I can tell you is that self-care is self-love. And when you love yourself, you take care of yourself. One thing you've done within the last 30 days, do not say hair done, nail done, although that can be a part of it. That can be a part of it. But what is one thing that you have done within the last 30 days to practice self-care? One thing. I'll wait. Because guess what? When you love yourself, you take care of yourself. You practice self-care regularly. Regularly. Somebody say regularly. Regularly. Within the last 30 days, what have you done? Meditation, good. Self-care regularly. Gigi, what have you done within the last 30 days for self-care? Within the last 30 days. And whoever comes on here, hey, Giovanna, within the last 30 days. See, and that's a question that many of us can't answer because good nutrition, good, Gigi, because we don't think about that as loving ourselves. You know, if you really love yourself, you're not going to grab the potato chips every time. You're not going to grab the carb every time. You're not going to go for the fried chicken or the heavy induced starch. You know, you're going to make different choices as it relates to your life in general because you value life. Someone that loves themselves values themselves. Somebody put that. When you love yourself, you value yourself. Number 4, establishing and maintaining boundaries. When you love yourself, you know how to set limitations and you know when to say no. Somebody put that. You know when to say no. And guess what? You don't feel guilty about it. You don't owe nobody any further explanation, even family members, y'all. Because some of y'all have some family members that constantly pull on, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you go here? Can you go there? Can you let me borrow this? Can you, no, I can't. I can't. I am maxed out. And you have to learn how to tell people that because when you don't love yourself, you allow people to constantly deplete, to take from, to extract, to subtract, to divide from you. But when you love yourself, people are adding to you, they're multiplying and they're giving to you, right? And you are giving to yourself. So when you establish and maintain boundaries, this includes you not overworking. This includes your love life. You have boundaries as it relates to that, your relationships, your family and friend obligations or activities, anything that's going to deplete you and eventually harm you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You have to establish and maintain boundaries. And doing so speaks clearly to your self-love. It speaks clearly to your self-love. You're saying, I love myself enough to not give what I do not have. Somebody put that in here. I love myself enough to not give what I do not have. Hey, Giovanna, what we're talking about today is a 7-day Loving Me More challenge that is kicking off Friday, April 12th, right here in this group. But you have to register. If you go to lovingmemorechallenge.com. Again, lovingmemorechallenge.com. You have to register for the session because it's going to be on and then it's going to be off. So we want to make sure that everybody that needs to be in the room is in the room. We have a dozen world leaders, expert relationship coaches that are going to come and share with you, including myself and Jill, what it looks like to love yourself more. And we're very excited about it. I'll go ahead and post the link again here. If you guys have to go and sign up and then come back in here, that's fine with me. I'll be on here for another 10 minutes or so. So establishing boundaries, you know when to say no. Absolutely. Number 5, loving yourself is when you are protecting yourself. What do you mean by that, Trell? That means that you are mindful of who you are bringing into your life. You make sure that you're bringing the right people into your life. And get this, parents and single parents in particular, you are mindful of who you are bringing in the life of your children. You're not so gung-ho on wanting a man, wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to be loved, not wanting to be lonely to the point you are accepting and allowing anything and everything into your home, into your bed, into your space, into your mindset, into your heart. You are protective of your heart. You are protective of your energy. You are protective of your space. You are protective of your mindset. That's loving yourself. That's loving yourself. You're not allowing somebody to use you or to abuse you, to financially abuse you, to emotionally abuse you, to physically abuse you. You're not allowing it. You have a zero tolerance for abuse. You have zero tolerance for anything that is depleting you. Number 4 is establishing and maintaining boundaries. Establishing and maintaining boundaries. You're setting the limits with that. So protecting yourself, you protect your energy and your space. You don't waste time or energy on people who take from you. Take. You got to protect yourself or you will wreck yourself. You have to protect your children or you will wreck your children. Don't do it for the sake of love. If you need somebody to love you that bad, if you need somebody to accept you that bad, if you need somebody to want you that bad, that means that you don't love yourself and you don't accept yourself and you don't appreciate yourself and you don't even know yourself. Because if you truly knew yourself, if you truly knew the God that you serve and the woman of God that he created you to be, you won't look for validation, acceptance, or anything from anybody else except for him. Because you understand that only he can give that in what you need. Only he can give that what you need. Number 6, this is a good one. Forgiving yourself. Oh my God, this is huge, y'all. This is huge. You know, a lot of people walk around and they don't even know that they're holding unforgiveness toward their self, but it shows up in their character. It shows up in their mindset. It shows up in their relationships. You have to forgive yourself. You have to understand we're all human. We all fall short. We're all subject to sin. We're all subject to error. We're all subject to failure. But just because something failed, that doesn't mean that we are a failure. Just because something failed, that does not mean that you are a failure. Let's case in point, even in a marriage, you may be in a situation right now that you're unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you just don't see the fortunate part about it right now, that you may be separated or even going in a divorce, especially if it's you were in a position where you were constantly abused, you were manipulated, you were deceived, you were somebody just ran over you. They ran over your emotions. They ran over you mentally. It could have been a physical abuse or mentally or emotionally a verbal abuse. And you were in that situation. And now you're saying, oh my God, it's over. And I can't believe it's over. But let me tell you something. If you love yourself, you will grow from that. And you'll understand that even though this thing is happening, and even though my marriage may not make it, I am not a failure. I didn't fail at anything because I gave it my all. I gave it 100%. I gave it to God. I cannot hold on to something or someone that does not want to be held on to. Come on, somebody. I cannot hold on to something or someone that does not want to be held on to. And I release it. I let it go. I am not allowing it to have any power over me. I'm releasing it now. I'm releasing him now. That's loving yourself. Taking your power back. Taking your power back and forgiving. You accept the fact that you are human and you make mistakes and you don't sit and dwell on them, but you learn from them and you grow from them. And then the last but certainly not least, loving yourself is living in your purpose. And what that is doing exactly what God has called you to do. How many of you will admit that you're doing exactly what God has called you to do? You are in line with his purpose. You are in line with his vision. You are in line with his perspective for your life. And you're doing it unapologetically, without permission to anyone. That's loving yourself. So when we talk about loving yourself, it's so much more than having nice things. It's so much more than acquiring the life that you want to live. It starts in here. Is knowing how to treat yourself from the inside out, from your mindset, from your nutrition, from your finances, from your business, your ministry, your thought world, your emotions, your love life, your marriage, all of that. goes hand in hand when we talk about loving yourself. So listen, if you're just now coming on, we're talking about the Loving Me More Challenge. Loving Me More Challenge kicks off Friday, April 12th, Friday, April 12th. Myself and Jill have gathered with a dozen other world leaders, experts, and relationship coaches to come to show you how to love yourself more. We're going to share our best with you and telling you exactly what we did and what we continue to do to make sure that we are showing up for ourselves first. Yes, I said it, showing up for you first, because you can't be anything to anybody else until you are everything that you need to be to yourself. I'm going to say that again. You cannot be anything to anyone else until you are that which you need to be to yourself. So that is our time for today, you guys. I just wanted to come pop in for about 30 minutes. Love you too, sis. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Share them here. I'll stay on for just a few here. Again, go to lovingmemorechallenge.com. lovingmemorechallenge.com. Go ahead and sign up. It's absolutely free. So there's no excuse. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to pay no money. All you need to do is give an hour of your time to be able to watch one of the dozen of experts that we're going to have on the panel here, and just sharing with you their secrets to self-love and how they're utilizing those things every single day to live the life that they want. These are people, these are multi-six-figure, multi-seven-figure industry leaders that we're going to have talking to you. And not that money matters, but it does, right? Because the more you love yourself, you know you can have confidence in knowing that you can do that too, right? I can do that too. I can obtain that as well. That's encouragement for you, that I can have the love life that I desire, that I can have the bank account that I desire. But more so, it is I can love myself from the inside out and be in control of everything that's going on with me, so that when I show up in the world, I'm showing up with my love power and not anything else. Okay? So listen, guys, thank you so much for just coming on with me. Again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and shoot them here. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. But lovingmemorechallenge.com, make sure you go and you sign up, share with someone. If you need to share this video with someone, please go ahead and do that. Share the challenge with someone, please go ahead and do that. I believe that everybody can benefit from loving themselves more, but hey, they have to understand where they are in life and that they need that. And at this moment, may not be their time. They may not have walked in the fullness of who they are yet. So if they haven't, then I understand that. But if they are wanting to, then I understand that as well. I'm going to ask you to share with about 5 people. So everybody on here, would you commit to sharing this challenge with at least 5 people? Can I get that out of you? 5 people you're going to tag, you're going to share. If you share here, you're just going to share in the group. So you would need to actually go share this, or actually go and take the link and say, hey, sis, sign up for this challenge. You won't regret it. So they can be a part of this journey with us. We would love for you all to be a part of the journey with us. All right. 5 people. Commit to sharing with at least 5 people. At least. Some of you have thousands of friends. Share on your page. Hey, listen, you guys want to be a part of this amazing journey of loving yourself more. I'm committed. Jill's committed. And all of the speakers that are going to be on this platform, they're committed. And they're coming to show up just for you. So I'm going to ask you to show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Okay? All right. Talk to you soon.